I'm waiting for it right now. Yeah, we're going. Hold on. Trying to pull it up.
Is it on? Working?
Yeah, it's working. Just pulling it up right now. Okay. All right, well, here we go, man.
Where's your phone?
Oh. Yeah, she's got it.
Okay.
All right. This is actually one.
I see my fucking knees. They've got steam coming off them.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just the fucking...
All right, well, what's going on, guys? This is our second live fire watch, our third one total. If you guys have anything you guys want to ask us, just let us know. We'll answer them right now.
Is anyone watching? Is it just us? Who else is on fire watch right now?
We got a couple guys. So yeah, you guys just send the questions in. We'll answer them. We do have some topics that we just want to talk about. Again, this is basically what we do on the weekends anyway. We just figured, we'd invite other people to catch it. So
yeah.
Well, yeah. So I think the first thing, we were literally just talking about it though in the house before we came out. But we were talking about again just advanced school. Like it just keeps coming around.
It's like a topic of discussion.
Yeah, it's a topic of discussion, especially I think for younger guys. And I think the biggest thing is just watching the difference between Ranger School and how that is just so standardized, and then the Marine Corps just doesn't have anything like that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So again, we'll continue the conversation out here, but what the gist of the conversation is the Army has Ranger School. Obviously, advanced school for the Marine Corps is not the same thing. But what our point was is that maybe advanced school is not so much as a gut check now as it is. It's still not for the faint-hearted, but it should be MOS proficiency, not ITB round 2 necessarily, but more so like, I'm going to get better at this MOS 31, 41, 52, 11 even. Like, I'm going to get more refined, more defined on that, so that when my unit leader, whoever it is, goes, okay, this guy should be very proficient on that weapon system in his MOS. He's not coming just straight out of boot camp type, ITB era. He's got his shit together. He has fleet experience. Good. He's got his MOS down. And then ISOLC should be the gut check of, can this guy employ his team, his squad, whatever, in his MOS in conjunction with other MOSs.
Yeah.
That's what I think the standard for that should be. And then obviously IULC is, can this dude be a platoon sergeant? Can this dude actually be, further on and lead more guys, more responsibility? I just feel like advanced school right now is more geared towards like a selection, which is kind of an interesting take on SOI's approach to that.
But yeah, I mean, I totally agree.
AITV, whatever.
All right, real quick, someone who's been following us kind of from the beginning, Cedar Sewing Co.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Favorite piece of kit and or most useful and why? So favorite piece of kit, man.
I don't know. I like the assault pack.
I would say, I was going to counter that. I was going to say my Mark 7 Crossfire pack.
Okay, well,
I love that thing.
Well, as far as issued kit, I think the Marine Corps did a pretty decent job. Obviously, there's room for improvement, but I feel like the assault packs, it's got Molly plastered all over it. We have a automatic rifleman video coming out
tomorrow.
Shortly.
Or wait, not tomorrow.
No, Friday.
Friday.
Very shortly. But my point to that is, typically guys will run Marine Corps, and you've seen it. If you've been in, you've seen it. You run the that admin pouch right at the top above that top zipper on the assault pack. That's kind of the standard, I guess, for guys running shit. But for, like we're going to show in the automatic rifleman billet, you can run all 3 issued mag pouches if you're running your own against that top there. I mean, you can obviously move that around, but in place of that admin pouch, you can put more mags, and then you've got all the spots on the side. Like we run the mag pouches when we're AR loadout, it's going to be mag pouches on the flanks of the assault pack. I just feel like it's modular is where I'm
Yeah,
getting at.
it's extremely modular. I mean, a blanket molly panel. I'd probably say my Mark 7 is my favorite just because I've carried heinous like loadouts with that thing for very far distances through some really thick brush.
Yeah.
And where I saw like the issued main pack system just completely get shredded or break during like cold weather packages because that polymer gets really frail. Yeah, that Mark 7 is just a beast of a pack, and it's definitely meant for the infantrymen.
Yeah.
Some people have said, oh, well, it's just naturally heavier, but like you need a dense material because sure, you know, you're using the issued pack, but when it gets shredded in the Gizra,
yeah,
and that's it. Like you're carrying your stuff in your hands. Like I've literally seen a dude's, I mean, we both know him, pack frame break halfway through a patrol. He had to just carry his stuff, and it was just flopping around. And I'm like, that is not ideal. And imagine like being on mission or like operation where your main pack breaks like that. I would not want to do that. He had to spread load some of his gear across the rest of the patrol, and he just was having a really bad time carrying like his basic bare essentials.
I like the Crossfire pack. I would like to get one. Yeah, it's the Mark 7, you said?
It's the Mark 7, and I was originally trying to get the DG16. I mean, we've exchanged some email traffic with Crossfire, and they said that they would make some commercially available in the DG16 Coyote if enough dudes showed interest. So, I mean, if that's something you guys are interested, or there's enough Marines that just want something that is basically the issued thing. So it's not crazy. You're not getting belligerent with how things look, but it just performs so much better. The DG16 and or the Mark 7 are just great packs. And
no, I agree.
Yeah, I trust those things to definitely carry anything you're carrying through very long distances through some really crappy terrain. So
yeah, no, great question. Yeah, that's our favorite piece.
Yeah, and then next question: CQB and mount training. How much should this be prioritized for infantry?
I don't think it's 100%.
So CQB, that's different though. Let's break it down though. CQB and mount. CQB falls within mount. Close quarters battle is a part of mount, but not necessarily the whole thing. It's not all encompassing. Mount is urban movement that also involves like, you know, hey, they're not supposed to be employed this way, but vehicles can be involved in mount. Companies going through urban terrain. Those are big deals. So I would definitely say CQB itself, I think Marines should train on it as much as possible. Infantrymen should train on it as much as possible, but they need to be realistic.
Yeah,
like grenades.
Yeah, it's obviously it's something that shouldn't be lost in translation from the guys that did it in Iraq and Afghanistan. It's gonna change too. I mean, you know, the guys were throwing frags in every room, which is, you know, sick, and then they were killing civilians, and it's like, okay, like war's gonna evolve, right? And maybe we're gonna find shit. Who knows? Maybe we'll just be sending drones in, and it'll be a camera drone or whatever, or maybe it'll be an IED drone. I don't know, but I don't think mount should be lost on a Marine or infantryman, even Army wise. I think it's something that we're going to be developing over time still. It's just, my caveat is like, not to be, you know, Ukraine, you know, like every fucking dude. But like, those places are getting obliterated, and the houses that are still there are obvious targets or assumed targets for RD or just indirect fire systems, and sometimes direct fire.
I think that's something people don't think about when they think about close quarters battle or mount. Is a building is essentially a registered spot on a map.
Yeah.
And you can very easily target that with indirect fires and talk people on with drones.
Yeah,
it's very
those
easy
would
to
be
do
pre-planned targets for me, or like if I were running it. So my caveat is in return is just basically, I've seen a lot of the landscape change in the example for Ukraine, where it was tree lines, dense tree lines in cities, and then they're just eviscerated.
Yep.
And then it turns to open ground again. So I think realistically, it's just 50-50. That should be the idea of like,
there's also
maybe
another caveat to that though, because close quarters battle doesn't necessarily take place in an urban environment. close
Right.
quarters battle can also take place in trenches. Like
Oh
the,
yeah. And that's
I believe it's an Army battle drill. Enter and clear a trench is also, I'm not sure off the top of my head if enter and clear a trench is if there's another battle drill for enter and clear a room or if they're the same thing. But I know that they're extremely similar. I know there's also a battle drill for gain a foothold in a trench.
right.
So I definitely think we should be training those things just as often as we train other things. It's just, let's be realistic. We're not infantrymen are not going to do a raid. We don't have specialized training like that. We can't afford to.
We're not all running pistols.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's actually a question about that, which is funny you mentioned that. But yeah, I definitely think we should train to it. Mount definitely train to it, and we should do more stuff with like simunitions and things. So,
well, realistically, more training is better training. So
someone said standard coyote is the best color. I totally agree. Today we did some stuff.
You know what's funny about that is I wasn't a hater. I just was like, why does the Marine Corps just decide, like, you'd see the Army or whatever before I joined, I'm saying, I'd be like, you see the Army and they're running all multicam, they're matching, and they're just designating that as the camo pattern. And then it's like, Marine Corps, why are they running coyote? It's like, okay, I kind of get it because of both uniforms, because the Marine Corps uses 2 uniforms with desert and woodland. But I don't know. I'm just like, coyote gets dirty and then it just blends more with the environment.
Yeah, people who I think have a problem with coyote brown. And again, let's detach from this for a second. You have a problem with the way a color is, like, not a huge like issue one to begin with, but if you really want to break it down, coyote tan, coyote brown meshes with the environment you're in. So if you're in that environment, especially for a couple days, your coyote tan is going to turn swamp mud color. It's going to turn light sandy color, like in the desert. It's going to turn
all the
white.
sand particles just white it or light it out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
it I don't know. I mean, whether it was intentional or not, I mean, it really did.
yeah, it's the same concept with like when you have like your ghillie suit or you have some type of like stalker hood, something like that. You want to start with light colors and then let the environment dictate how dark it gets.
Right.
It's the same concept, and it's also a PID thing. This is something that we always were dealing with. Was dude, very ironic I'm saying this, was running multicam.
Yeah.
But it was a huge like PID thing because it was like, hey, we're all Marines. Like, I'm wearing this because we were just testing some stuff out. This dude was wearing it like for real. And that's a legitimate PID issue if someone's wearing multicam and everyone else is wearing MARPAD.
Well, you see that, I'm not trying to be that dude, but you see it with Ukraine, dude. The Russians are wearing multicam, and it's like, okay, well, now it's like, God forbid we have to do anything with that. It's like, okay, well, now what the hell is the Army going to do if they're having a PID issue with the Russians in U.S. forces? So, I don't know. What? I don't know. Okay.
It's fine. Yep. So our Marine. Okay, are Marines still utilizing the M72 law, or has the M3 law replaced it in squads?
I think the law is getting phased out.
AT4 getting phased out. I believe. I don't think they're making any more new laws, but I think we still have a lot of them.
Have an ass ton still.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think the CRLG is, at least from what I'm understanding from how the Marine Corps is pushing forward, is CRLG is going to be it. So, I mean, which makes sense. I mean, I would want more accurate and I mean, I think it's obviously.
Let's break that. Well, we can break that down a little bit too. So, in terms of the employment of the MAWs, the Carl Gustav, whatever you want to call it, I've done things where you carry multiple laws, and that's not as fun. I've done things where you carry multiple AT4s. Again, not that fun. Being able to carry a launcher that just utilizes different types of rounds and carrying the rounds, those being much smaller than the law or AT4, much better system.
It's more specified system.
Exactly.
Too.
And then being able to change the type of rounds. There's a plethora of different type of rounds.
Yeah, so it does open your capes or your capabilities for employment, which is nice.
Yeah. The MAWS system is absolutely great. I love that thing.
Yeah, I think the MAWS is solid. I think other than the concussive blast, it's probably going to give dudes TBIs in the future.
Now, where I've seen it work really well is basically just every rifle squad gets a MAW.
Yeah.
Like, I have seen dudes where it's like, hey, we have an assault section, even though we got rid of 51s. and
Yeah.
which is crazy to me. Let's make an assault section after we get rid of 51s is
Well,
wild.
let's just get rid of, scout snipers and then make whatever.
But anyway, so they run it where they have an assault section. Those guys get attached and they're just running with the Maws. I think that again, my very humble opinion, I think that that's probably not the best way to go. It's every squad gets a Maws. Every rifleman, you also know the Maws. You know how to use that thing and it can pass around.
Yeah.
You have the guy though. You have like your best Maws gunner that carries it, but then everyone is still trained on it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like every single infantryman should be trained on the M27 or M4 platform. They should be trained on the 240, the 320, the M32, and then the Maws. Like every single infantryman should know how to use all those very effectively.
Yeah.
All right. Maw section does sound cool. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, it's a good base. You guys covered it perfectly. That's awesome. Great seeing you guys making it. How do you deal with peer leaders who don't take warfighting seriously? I don't know. Tell me how you deal with peer leaders who don't take warfighting seriously.
Well, I think it's a matter of perspective. So I feel as if, speaking for myself, it's not that I was unmotivated. I probably just didn't see the right culture until he kind of introduced
Wars,
fellow
E5s.
E4s or even, senior lances, that type of that niche. Why are we out here? This is gay. I'm waiting for I have the timer on my phone for when I get out. This is stupid. I don't want to be here. Or this is dumb. Now, Marines bitch and complain that, the Army probably does it too.
Yep.
I get it. That's fine. Sometimes bitching through the pain's the only way to get through it. But my point being, I just think that in matter of perspective, in if you're the dude that's starting to give a fuck, or you give a fuck already, you need to communicate that in an intelligible way to your peers. I found it was easier once it started coming online for me that I could intelligibly pass it on to my peers in a way of a light explanation, not breaking character in that culture, but in an doctrinal way of, somebody's like, this is stupid. Why am I sitting here in this OP? And then you get like, yeah, man, like, well, hey, look, I'd rather us be out here, observing or, listening ahead of, our patrol base or whatever the situation is, because, that means, oh, maybe I won't die or you won't die or whatever. There's probably a better way to explain that. But if you kind of get where my gist is like, in agreement of like, yeah, this sucks in the moment, but there's a reason why we're doing this. And again, the Marine Corps is not really made up, and same with the Army. It's not made up on like some dude just came in off the street and was like, all right, we should go over here and do something. Let's try and make this make sense over here. Like, no, like this is years of documentation, battle testing. Like these things have all been written out because there's a reason why they work, or they have worked to a T or flawlessly, or they've kind of worked. This is the best scenario, and when this works, all these, like the TNR, lays it out too, as far as like how things are set up. Hey, why do we run 6 mags? Why is it not just 3? Like, why aren't we just running 3 mags? Like all these small little things are purpose built. So somebody smarter than us and more experienced than us is the reason why we're doing it. And that's what I'm saying is like, you have to kind of like not boot check them. You can't be super hard and hit them with well, it's just because you're fucking stupid and you're not paying attention, or you don't know this because you're a boot, or just using you have to You have to communicate intelligibly and be and find that niche in the culture where in that E3 E4 culture of like, hey, let's give a fuck about this specifically and communicate that more effectively. I feel like I'm not even communicating that effectively, but I feel like if you understand where I'm getting at, I'm obviously not that intelligent.
Yeah,
But
I got you. I think a big thing too is
why are we doing
dealing
this?
with peers who don't take it seriously. One, that's a maturity flaw for them. They're not mature. They're not seeing the big picture. Probably didn't join the Marine Corps for the right reasons. They definitely didn't join the Marine Corps to be in the infantry. I think that's a big problem that dudes have is they joined the Marine Corps but didn't join the infantry. That's a big problem, and that's why
Mentally, yeah.
I think that's why sending dudes to schools, sending dudes to schools and make sure that they're like down with the sickness before you put them out on mission, before you put them in a deployed scenario where they're not going to have access to like the normal human functions. Like those things are serious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so dealing with peer leadership that doesn't care about the warfighting, doesn't care about the job, I think just outpace them to the point where they look so bad, or probably again, the mature way to do that is try and pull them up. That doesn't work. Outpace them so bad that they eventually just get out or go somewhere else, because
Yeah.
that's the only way to effectively operate. So
I hope that answers your question. Sorry for the tangent.
yeah,
I've
it's fine. You do
been,
that
I
sometimes.
do that. I've
All
been
right.
doing things.
Best way to cross load for the mall. What I've seen and what I have personal experience with is the Haley Strategic packs
Yeah, they make a
that
cool
they
pack.
let the guys use, and it basically turns into that rifleman's assault pack.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yeah.
You can carry 4 rounds in the pack, and well,
I think it's 4.
I can't remember. I don't. Yeah, I'm either it's 3 or 4. You can carry 3 or 4 rounds
Look
in
up
the
Haley
pack itself.
Strategic, you know,
Um,
Moz.
yeah, and then you can
You'll
carry
know,
another
yeah.
round, obviously in the gun. It's technically a gun, not a rocket.
It is a gun.
It is a gun, 84 millimeter projectile, recoilless rifle. Anyway, sorry, I get on tangents too. Yes, very good way to crossload that, and then they make like the regular sleeves that you can give to like 1 or 2 guys, maybe another guy in that team.
Yeah.
Maybe, as you guys will see tomorrow, your automatic rifleman, maybe you don't think he's carrying enough, give him an extra mileage round in one of those sleeves. Never a bad idea. So it is 4. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Henry capability team. 81st platoon going to a line company as either a 60s mortarman. 60s are awesome, or potentially a rifleman. Other than reading dry doctrine, yeah,
Yeah.
and watching YouTube, what are the main priorities to get a grasp of?
Well, that does bring up again another reason why we're doing this. I, for the life of me, struggle with just
Reading.
reading. Yeah, reading. Period. No. Just struggle with reading the doctrine because they're, again, I'm a visual learner, so, and I bet you a lot of you guys are too. Reading the pubs, the doctrine, it's like, okay, cool, I can read it, I understand what it says. And then you get to the point where kind of skimming, and then you go, okay, I kind of get it. Interesting. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. And then you kind of forget it. We're trying, and there's a point why I was saying like why we're doing this is like we're trying to give not as much reading,
Yeah.
because if you need to not fact check, but like if you need to reference it, you know where to reference it. But you're getting through the channel. We're trying to give like a the best class that we can, or the best of our abilities, with as many visuals as possible. And I receive learning better through hands-on and doing like training in general. So like we'll give examples like for the frag video, like we were showing, it was instructional. It's literally I can visually see the dude doing the thing in all the positions, explaining why each individual thing is the way it is. And then small unit training where, hey, we're just throwing frags back and forth to each other in the standing, kneeling, and prone. All of that's already laid out in these pubs and doctrines, for example, of how to do it. And then you just got to read it. If you learn better through reading, more power to you. I have to visually see it and do the rep of doing it. Like when I go through Peckles and shit, I'm quite literally in the zone doing everything with my hands, pretending it's right in front of me. I'm actually like, I pull the trigger, click. Oh, like in my head, I go, oh shit. misfire, misfire, misfire. And that's how I'll run through it, is like me fully visualizing it. So hopefully through the videos, we can help you visualize the right way to do it, or an example of how to do it. So it's not like just words, literally letters that you're trying to remember and then putting it to practical application.
Yeah, that was again, like one of the starting reasons why we did the channel was there's so much stuff for the Army. The Army has all this stuff. They have all these channels of like people doing the thing, people going over the thing, but then the Marine Corps just doesn't.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the Marine Corps and the Army use a lot of the same gear. They do a lot of the same things, but there's a niche there. So I think that's why we wanted to do it. And yeah, we wanted to put that out there for you guys. Doctrine is, sorry if I'm not reading all these guys. There's a few of them in here, and you know, reading's hard. Doctrine is the best learned doing rather than reading. And yep. Yeah. So
that's why we're trying to hit those.
Yeah, trying to hit them, and also like get into the nitty gritty of, you know, words mean things, right?
Right.
Words mean things until they don't. But some people still don't understand that like doctrine is MCDP in the Marine Corps, at least. Army, obviously, y'all might use that term a little differently, but Marine Corps doctrinal publication versus a reference publication. Key difference there, like Marine Corps Rifle Squad, MCRP, that is a reference publication, and the main difference between those two is an MCDP doesn't really change. Doctrine doesn't really change because it's written very vaguely and it's broad and it applies to a lot of different things. And think of it more as like the art of war, while a reference publication is more the science. Sometimes the science changes, like the max effective ranges for some things, even though you could argue the max effective range really applies to the gunner.
Well, you know, I was speaking to a gunner the other day, and he was talking about it. You know, what's the max effective of each weapon system if you can see further?
Real quick, I won't forget the pistol question. Got it, man.
Okay,
Keep going.
But like for the 50, if you know, is your max effective the same if I can see further? If you had a observer, you know, like actually looking through glass, recording your impacts, and your impacts are more accurate because you're going to be able, like, how far can you actually see as opposed to recording your target?
Yeah.
So it's like, does that change your max effective then? If like for the Sabres, if you could see 20 miles away for some, you had some crazy new optic by who knows, Raytheon. Does that change your max effective if it's RF and then maybe it can hit further because I can see further better? You know what I'm saying? So like some of those things change in your mind, and the gunner brought up it was a good talking point, but
no,
I was just like, that's
one.
interesting. Yeah, if I could, these are all based off of the optics in the weapon system in the round
in perfect conditions.
In perfect conditions, and it's like, well, if the conditions were made better, well, technically that would change your max effectives then. So that was an interesting point. So I don't know, just a tangent again.
Yeah, you do that anyway. All right.
Pistol. What
should infantrymen carry pistols, and if so, why? This one, I don't know why. I don't know why this one is like so weird and so not. I haven't been able to. So again, from personal experience, I've been carrying a pistol for the past 4 years as an infantryman, doing mounted and dismounted things. And to be honest with you, it's never bothered me unless like I'm in the prone for a long period of time. But if I'm in the prone for a long period of time, I'm probably like going to take a little bit of my kit off to get comfortable because maybe I'm in an OP, maybe I'm in a hide. But I've carried a pistol for a while. It's never bothered me. And again, I don't think it's more like maybe in a peer-to-peer war, I'm probably not going to use that to assault a trench. That's not going to be my primary weapon system. But what it does is it gives me a little bit of peace of mind that if my primary weapon goes down, I got something that I can use to acquire a new primary weapon that's not just a knife.
Yeah.
You know, like that Marines and infantrymen are always like, man, let's do a bayonet charge. Like,
or they have the tomahawk on their hip or some crazy shit. Yeah.
Battle of Belleau Wood, probably one of the most badass things the Marines have ever done. Yeah. Ideally, though, I don't want to do a bayonet charge if I don't have to. So, rifle goes down, I can switch to my pistol. It's not a bad idea. Maybe I mean, we've all seen that like close quarters video going around.
Fight, yeah.
I don't know. I don't know all the specifics of that. Maybe
if he had a pistol, maybe
I don't know. I can't speak to it, but maybe if he had a pistol, maybe if he had like a blade that he could have gotten to, situation could have turned out different. It also, though, and one thing that I have seen that does very well in is clearing small spaces.
Yeah.
So again,
Especially.
making hides, like hollowing out like a stump where a stump used to be or something like that. Using a pistol is very easy to do that. Clearing bathrooms, that's something that like
Especially
a
with
pistol is very
the
nice at.
M27 with a
Is it me to use my pistol, because if I'm rocking an M27 with a 16-inch barrel and
oh
a
my
inch suppressor,
yeah,
like
and I got to get in a small closet to
yes,
check it. Oh
exactly.
my god. Yeah.
So yeah, that's why I see using it more. Dudes' opinions are going to differ, but like also if I can carry it, why not? It doesn't bother me. It weighs
I
like
think
2
if you can
pounds.
afford the weight, the positioning of it, and it doesn't interfere with anything sick, I just think as far as the Marine Corps does it, they give it to small unit leaders, sort of. It depends on a lot of stuff, but yeah, I think it brings up a great point. Just kind of, I'd rather have it when I need it than not have it. You know, and like,
And then
I don't know.
another thing too, if you wear it the right way, you mess around with your gear, you can wear it with a ruck on. I wear mine with a ruck on all the time. You just put the pistol, and this is where like you kind of take away from looking a little high speed, because you have to wear like your pistol mounting system underneath your like I'm gonna say gun belt, but you're not really wearing a gun on it anymore. Like your war belt or something like that.
Right.
You have to wear it underneath
So
to wear your ruck.
he's saying he puts it on his inner belt and then velcros the outer belt over top of the the holster attachment.
Yeah.
What is it? The smart whatever.
Yeah.
So that when he takes his belt off, he still has his pistol on his inner belt, and it doesn't. There's no issue. It just literally stays there.
Yeah. And
So,
again, I'm not trying to say that like my experience is the end all be all, because there are people that are a lot more experienced than me in every single avenue, but I do spend a lot of time dismounted and a lot of time in the prone in uncomfortable positions. The pistol has never bothered me. And if it does, I, in my own experience, am able to typically just do the quick detachment, sit it to the side, and then if I need it, I can do it there or quickly attach it again. So yeah, I think it all depends on how you're carrying it, when you're carrying it. I like them. I like pistol.
yeah. Well,
In RCE, what is RCE? I'm not familiar with RCE. Let me know what that is. G hurt. RCE, you couldn't pay guys to carry them if dismounted. I probably know what that is. I just sound retarded right now. But excluding mortars and machine guns, I have seen a lot of machine gunners carry a pistol.
well, yeah. I mean, if
reasons.
the dude's rolling a 240 in his hand, it's like,
yeah,
and it's like, oh my god.
okay. Quality's also starting to get bad. I don't know why, but whatever.
Sorry.
We'd be out here in the woods.
I mean, whatever. I'm sorry. I don't know how to fix that. Yell at T-Mobile.
Yep. Let me know what RCE is, man. All right, just reading a few more of these.
Yeah, shoot any questions. When we don't care.
I'm trying to make sure I didn't miss any important ones. Dumb
Staying out of the
question.
fire.
Current year with current year options, do you think ponchos are still worth bothering with ring gear?
I don't know. I kind of like a poncho. I mean, if you got the space for it, sure.
I counter that.
What?
I think you're stupid.
Okay. I was gonna say the whole.
No, you're dumb. Stop.
Fair.
I'm sorry. Ponchos are cool in like jungle environments, but what I have seen happen, again, you're not dumb, you're not stupid.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
Please don't take that. I'm sorry.
You're done.
The Gore-Tex and the tarp combination, I think makes sense. By Gore-Tex, I mean parka, because it's all. I used to run a poncho for like a year, and it was like a thing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say you did run one.
Yes, well,
shitting on me. I was like, bitch. I'm like, I saw you use it.
And a thing people don't take into consideration, and this is probably just the military side. Can't speak to just civilian, but that's not your tarp. That is the team's tarp. That is the squad's tarp.
Sure.
So when ammo has to get covered, or we have to cover a vehicle, guess what, pal? Give me your tarp. So when you're the guy that gives up a poncho and everyone else is giving up a tarp, it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, what's happening right now? So
I think if you've got space in your gear and you don't mind the however many ounces, I don't think it's a terrible idea.
Yeah, but it's, again, like, you give up the tarp because you got to cover ammo, or you got to build like a hide, or you got to do something requires you to give up the tarp. Now I still have my Gore-Tex. So I still got a little bit of rain protection. It's still my outer gear. And also at least for the Marine Corps, our like layering system was designed for the Gore-Tex.
Yeah.
And in cold weather, below freezing temperatures,
Also,
your Gore-Tex is required. So there's going to be that guy that brings a tarp to the field or a poncho to the field, doesn't bring his Gore-Tex, and it's like,
okay,
you're
definitely
an idiot.
still bring your Gore-Tex.
Yes.
Don't be like, oh, I don't need to bring this now.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's
That wasn't a dumb
good.
question. I've
No, it's
considered
a good
that
question.
several times.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like you're still getting. My experience, I still, even if I had I feel like I'm still getting wet. Like,
you're gonna get wet.
Yeah,
That's
you're
the
gonna
thing.
get wet. I feel like it's just I'm gonna deter this for like an hour, and then
Yeah.
I'll be soaked through. Like, yeah, I'm just saying. I think you're still gonna get wet.
Do you have any empty space on your kit? Why or why not? S&E bag. Is that S&E? Do you mean survive and evade? Counter question, I guess. Well, I was gonna show my kit, but it's fine. I don't necessarily have empty space. I guess it's like I carry, like the Spirit Systems video, I carry like an extra GP pouch that just I don't put anything in.
Yeah, that's empty space. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's something that I started to do. After you were talking about it's a
search and evidence. We call it.
Well, yeah. What are those bags?
Yeah. So what we incorporate in our SOP, we got a class from I think it was a SARC.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
they carry like down shooter bags. Great
yes,
idea.
that's what it was.
Because dude goes down, you can take all of his EDL or like his serialized gear, like his rifle, his nods, because this isn't just a training thing too. It's like in combat, we don't want to lose this guy's gear.
Yeah,
what if he was carrying
all
like
his shit is just
we can put all of his serialized stuff in a bag, the down shooter bag, and it can be an issued bag, or it can be a like we use black contractor bags. Throw it all in there, and then when he's getting medevaced or casevaced, we just throw the bag in there with him, and then he's good to go.
Yeah.
And all of his stuff is consolidated, and that would be what we would also use for TSE or S&E.
Yeah.
If the need arose.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, you strip everything off the dude, and then you're working on him medically and going through everything, but his shit's off.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, the next step is, that's why you need to get reps of this, is now what? I have all this shit laying here. You grab all of this, your rifle's falling over, you're trying to grab his, you're like,
find an E2 and an E3, carry all this stuff.
Yeah, no.
But then that's your automatic rifleman and your grenadier, and then now you're cooked.
Well, yeah, so that's why I don't know. That's kind of like an SOP thing that you kind of need to look into as well. And we're gonna find the fuck out if we ever go to do something. Is not a lot of people are thinking about that. Yeah, where are you putting all that shit? He's on the bird or in the Vic, about to get sent out. How far away? You know what I mean? Are you dragging all that shit? Just dudes just carrying multiple things of gear, or if you just have a bag you sling over your shoulder, it's got a fucking strap.
This is a good idea. I'd get my guys to put an issued laundry bag inside the Foxtrot litter bag for the same reason. The black bag that we get issued for your sleeping bag. Great. Never even thought about that. Look at that.
Well, don't lose that bag. Sif wants that bag.
Thanks, man.
That's a good idea.
Just make sure I didn't miss anything. The empty space, again, that's like, there's going to be that random situation where here's a smoke grenade, here's pyro.
Yeah. No.
Here's this thing. Like, I've literally been handed on like during an op, I've been handed like 2 things of pyro and a battery for a camera.
Yep. Here you go.
Just randomly.
Figure it
and it's
out.
like, what do you want me to do with this? Like, where do I put this? And you put it in your cargo pockets, and then you buddy rush, and then it falls out.
Or you're just laying on it. You break your knee. Yeah. It's the extra space. I'm not saying have like 12 panels of GP pouches. I'm just saying, like, can I give you, like, they're plussing everyone up 2 mags, or they're plussing you up with smoke, pyro, whatever. You have somewhere to put it that's not your fucking cargo pocket.
Yeah. Or you get an EOD dude attached to him. He's like, hey, I need you to carry extra charges. It's like, what? I got my 3 mag placard, buddy. I'm not carrying extra charges. And it's like, you're going to carry extra charges. So,
yeah.
All right. Let's see. There was a good one here. Can you make a video about improving your fighting position like a 2-man hole?
Stand by.
Yeah, stand by for that one, dude.
Stand by. Already done.
Already done.
Yeah, already dug.
It's literally dug.
Literally dug.
We can see it from where we're at right now.
Yeah, we shot at it today as well, so whatever.
Yeah.
Got
any good lost kit stories?
Lost kit?
Okay. Hold on. I got a better one.
Okay.
No, you go. I'm sorry.
All right.
That was rude.
Very well. Last deployment on the Mew we were on.
All right, hold on. This is the last thing. Last thing, guys, because we gotta cut this.
Oh.
You tell your story, I'll tell mine. We'll be done.
Oh,
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, last deployment, whatever, Mew. We were in. I'm not gonna say where. I'm not gonna try and whatever. Doesn't matter. We were just doing some training, whatever. We were doing like force on force, and it was towards the end where we were like, hey, we're just gonna give we're gonna get some reps at. I think we were just crossing a danger area or something.
Was I with you?
Huh?
Was I with you?
No, I can't say his name. But yeah, so we were just crossing this area, whatever. We're all, I think we just, by the end, we're online, we cleared, whatever. We're done. We're like, all right. And then we're like, all right, we're going to head back EDL. So, you're getting making sure everyone has their shit still. We're going down, I'm going down the line, making sure, hey, you got rifle, you got optic, you got pack. All right, sick. And then I, as a small unit leader, you go, all right, I'm going to check for everything. Good. RCO, good. Rifle, pack, good. NVGs. And I go, what? And then I go, oh my God. And I look at my dummy cord and it's not on the dummy cord. And I go, there's no way. I know it was on a dummy cord. No shit.
Oh, this is you. This is about
me.
You.
Yeah, this is me. And I was like, there's no way. In my head, I'm like, there's literally no way. It's on a dummy cord. The dummy cord will work. I don't understand. And so we go back and I'm like, all right, get online. I'm sorry, get online. We're not losing NVGs right now. And please call back maybe like 10, 20 meters. See it just chilling in the grass. I'm like, oh, you stupid bitch. I'm like, how is this not on? So from then on, not only is the dummy corded, I am so paranoid about losing an NVG. So it's just, I feel like you got to trial by fire. But yeah, don't be a dumb.
I'll throw mine out there and then we're gonna have to cut it, guys.
I can do this all.
Yeah, so brand new, boot, brand new. I think I was the E3, like just hit the fleet. I think it was my very first field op. Yeah, it was my second field op. We're going to do patrol base operations, which is honestly kind of stupid to name it that. Even like you don't ever have a mission. I'm not gonna get on tangent. Do patrol base operations. We're day 2. I'm in a different AO. My platoon is in a different spot. Another platoon loses a piece of gear. Okay. They get all the boots online. We all get online. We have the seniors looking over us. And I look to my left. One of the seniors I see grabs one of my peers' nods. And then a couple minutes later, it's, all right, guys, we're looking for someone's nods. They lost them. And I'm like, bitch. Okay. And me again, as a scared boot, I'm like, I'm not going to say anything, nor do I think that's actually what just happened because
there's no way
what transpired. Yeah, there's no way that those are the nods.
Yeah,
they're probably just like
checking
his serial number or something. So we start doing, some heinous things of like duck walking through the woods at night online.
Classic.
The classic
sure
things boots do.
Zero tolerance stuff. Yeah.
Look through it the whole night, start police calling. The next day, we conveniently find the nods. Well, turns out our seniors lost a gas regulator plug for a 240 barrel. And instead of them saying, we're going to go look for the gas regulator plug, they took a boots pair of nods and used that time to find the gas regulator plug.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So
interesting.
I was like, that is insane. And it took me a while to actually put that together. The armory, they were boys with somebody in the armory. I was like, hey man, did you find the gas regulator plug? And he was like, oh yeah, I found it. So
interesting.
Yeah, pretty pretty gnarly.
That.
Don't be doing that. Don't be a piece of crap. So all right, well, I appreciate you guys. What's up?
What?
Oh yeah. So yeah, we're gonna cut it here. We are gonna upload Friday morning. So stay tuned for that. We appreciate you guys tuning in for Firewatch. Again, this is just us messing around, stuff we'd be doing anyway. Figured you guys would find some of it interesting. Appreciate you guys being part of the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gonna upload Friday. We are uploading like every other week because we do work. We do
Sorry,
things.
we do have this job. Yeah, we're doing our best. Training is actually happening, so we kind of have to shift focus tiny bit, but we're still making the uploads happen. It'll just be every other week.
Yeah,
So,
we appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please let us know if you have any questions on anything in the future. Thank you guys.
Cool. See you guys.